Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Gibbons here with your shout outs and our week in review for the week of September 21st, 2020. We have a lot to celebrate, so here we go. Last week, these students completed 5 or more Dreambox lessons. They are Gabby with 41, Shiloh with 34, Siani with 25, James with 24, Janai with 22, Byron with 20, King with 12, Brianna with 10, Emily with 9, Emiliana with 9, JC Lynn with 8, Amelia with 8, Chanel with 6, and Janelli with 6. We had a class total of 243 Dreambox lessons for the week. Super job by everyone. Other Dreambox news: 83% of our class has mastered all kindergarten math standards on Dreambox. Those scholars are Brianna, Edward, Leo, Emily, James, Janelli, Janai, JC Lynn, Shiloh, and Siani. So, boys and girls, make sure you are doing your assigned lessons with a calendar next to them so you can work towards meeting new standards. Moving on to our Imagine Language and Literacy shout-outs, these students completed 20 to 30 minutes each day on Imagine. Leo, Siani, Pilar, Janai, Janelli, James, Emily, Gabby, JC Lynn, Brianna, and Shiloh. Boys and girls, I heard some amazing recordings and readings when I listened to them when I checked your work on Imagine. So make sure you go and check your booster bits. I gave you some bonus ones. Perfect attendance for the week: Leo, Siani, Ahmad, Byron, Emiliana, Janai, Edward, Janelli, James, Emily, Gabby, JC Lynn, King, Brianna, and Shiloh. Awesome job, and thank you for being there each and every day, ready to learn. Our week in review. In ELA, we identified beginning, middle, and ending sounds in words. We reviewed the letters A, B, F, D, and G. We listened to CVC songs and practiced stretching out sounds to make a word. We practiced writing CVC words with short A. We finished reviewing list 1 of our most common words, and those words were to, in, you, is, that, and it. We read Kitten's First Full Moon and discussed the story elements of character, setting, and the events. We did a dictated drawing of a kitten, and you used a word bank to complete a sentence to describe your kitten and record it yourself speaking your sentence. We also practiced reading pictures, and when we read pictures, we think about what do we see and what are we inferring or what do we think is happening in those pictures. In most common word news, these students have mastered list 1 and some have mastered list 1 and 2. So those students who have mastered list 1 of our most common words are Edward, Brianna, Emily, Siani, James, Janelli, and Shiloh. Those students who have mastered list 2 are Edward, James, Emily, and Leo. Way to go. Keep it up. In math, we explored using counters and pattern blocks. We counted 1 to 30 and 30 to 1. We played start at and get to. We built numbers on 1 to 20 on a tens frame. We talked about how we think visually with our fingers and with pictures. We discussed our rights as learners and focused on the right to make a mistake. And remember, boys and girls, mistakes are okay because it helps our brain grow. We looked at dot images, and you shared the number of dots that you saw and how you saw them. These were a few of our favorite things this past week. Guess the picture was an activity we did where you had to figure out what the picture was before I zoomed all the way out. We did Ready, Set, Draw, where you had 1 minute to draw an image I had put on the screen. We did our sight word chants. We celebrated King's birthday. We read and found sight words, kind of like a hidden picture. And you got real mail from Mrs. Gibbons. So don't forget to have those Zoom cards and those materials with you each day. Once again, thank you to all of the grown-ups this week. Your patience, flexibility, kind words, and your continuous support at home is greatly appreciated. One last thing before you go, this coming week, these are the materials you will need. You will need your Zoom cards. You will need your whiteboard and marker or the plastic sheet cover that I had mailed to you, plain paper, crayons or markers, a pencil, a Chromebook or an iPad, and your math workbook if you prefer to do the work in the workbook instead of Seesaw. Please have them near your workspace and readily available. I look forward to seeing you all bright and early tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your evening.